Each week we bring you all of the latest film news.
From interviews with filmmakers and actors to the new cinema releases.
I'm really proud of you for going on this trip.
You're gonna have so much fun. And remember, if something chases you, run.
Welcome to this edition of Arts Alive Film. My name's Tony Lindsay.
And my name's Tony Lloyd. So what have we got, Tony?
The park is now open.
Hey? So what else is coming up?
Okay, we got an interview with Bev Clarke and Christopher Lee Power, our two producers. New movie.
New movie coming up in the summer. Yeah.
And of course, this is our Jurassic Park special. Take a look at this.
Get behind the couch.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
When I saw the first Jurassic Park, I just walked away having my mind blown. It's like cinema was reinvented right in front of me.
When I saw it, I was like, oh man, I want to be in this movie. I want to be in a Jurassic Park.
It made us want to become filmmakers, become storytellers, become actors.
It was a breakthrough movie. I thought that the use of the technology and the new CG and seeing the dinosaurs come to life for the first time was extraordinary.
When I first watched it, was scary, man. It's still scary today.
I have a very specific memory of Jurassic Park coming out on the last day of school, and there's a feeling that goes along with that, of being alone in a movie theater and being transported to where Jurassic Park takes you.
To see Jurassic World come to life is almost like seeing Jurassic Park come true.
Now there's a real working dinosaur theme park that 20,000 people visit per day.
Every time we've unveiled a new attraction, attendance has spiked.
That was awesome.
It goes down an original road which none of the other movies ever dared to travel.
Eyes on me.
Good.
Corporate felt genetic modification would up the wow factor.
It was designed to be bigger than the T-Rex.
You just went and made a new dinosaur?
Probably not a good idea.
What happened to the sibling?
She ate it.
We have an asset out of containment.
Cut. That was really good.
To be here making Jurassic World is crazy, but it's also very moving.
We're every once in a while taking a moment to look at each other and very lightly under our breath be like,
What are we doing here? This is crazy.
this is so fun. You know how fun this is? This is so fun. Yeah, we kind of feel like we snuck into the party.
Everyone has had that moment where I've seen that little kid in their eyes.
There's a lot of surprises in Jurassic World, and my confidence was so high in what our director, Colin, was going to achieve.
Action!
What
Wow, fantastic.
Incredible.
It's 22 years since the first Jurassic Park movie, and things have moved on just a little.
Just a little.
Were you a fan of the original trilogy?
Absolutely. I remember very quickly. I remember this is guilty. What a confession! I remember going to buy tickets for the family in the afternoon for the evening performance of the first performance, and being told by the girl it was on in 2 minutes, the first showing in Liverpool. So I went to that.
Let's see how this turned out. Yeah.
And then went back again in the night. So I'm a big fan.
I'm a big Dino fan. The Ray Harryhausen years for
me.
But yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park rewrote movie history, didn't it, with the CGI and
that T-Rex.
Absolutely. Wow. Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern.
What a cast.
Superb. I mean, a lot of people said the second and third film didn't really work.
The thing with Jurassic Park, Lost World, it had its moments, but it was Spielberg himself had a hiatus of 2-3 years.
That's right.
And this was his warming back into film, making a big epic blockbuster.
Right. More Hatari Howard Hawks than anything. I thought The Lost World was.
Yeah,
and it was certainly darker. It didn't have the sense of fun of the original. And then you got Jurassic Park 3, which was the pterodactyls.
That was surprising for me. I liked that one.
I did. I think the third act lacked something. The ending was a little too sudden and rushed. But the pterodactyls certainly made it for me.
Wow, yeah. Great that it went to the air.
Absolutely. But okay, so 2015, and they've done it. They've opened a park, Jurassic World. What do we think?
Absolutely a stunner. I think everything a blockbuster action dinosaur film should be.
This is the summer blockbuster for you folks. Get down here and see it. It's absolutely amazing.
It's funny, it's terrifying. I mean, the dinosaurs are frightening.
Yeah, it does everything the first three promise. The first three, this one delivers.
Oh, yeah. And how? I mean, it's probably got one of the most exciting end half hours I've ever seen of this type of movie. So
Colin Trevorrow's on directing duties here. Spielberg is exec producing, and I think Trevorrow outclasses Spielberg.
The boy himself, And we were talking about, his big one. It was Safety Not Guaranteed. His movie, which I love. If you've never seen it,
it's a small personal movie,
indie time travel film.
But worth seeing. Try and catch it. I think Film 4 is showing it on a bit of a loop at the moment.
But
anyway,
he holds the action well.
511 million in its opening weekend. Now that is second only to Avengers Assemble, but they're still making up the figures. They're still number crunching, so it could still be the biggest opening weekend ever.
And I would say one of the few that have lived up to it.
Yeah, indeed.
You're never sure when you see these incredible trailers or whatever, but
Chris
really
Pratt's
does.
on leading man duties.
Very good charmer, isn't he?
He builds up from his Guardian to the Galaxy debut as leading man. You've got Bryce Dallas Howard is the heroine.
You've got a niece and nephew in there who are...
Oh yeah. Now this is what this film does. We talked about San Andreas a couple of weeks ago, how it tried to be
singular line,
the singular story. But this goes back to the 1970s disaster movie formula of the separate stories running
setting
throughout.
Up all these different people in different troubles, and how are they going to face
head of security, head of the park.
He was a nasty piece of work.
Oh, he was. Vincent
the guy head of security there.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Don't trust him.
Yeah, but no, I mean, okay, some people have said that the animals are more interesting than the characters. It ain't Tolstoy, folks, it's dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's Jurassic World, come on.
It's fun, it works. I think it works on every level.
Yeah. I was jealous of anyone young coming, like we were talking about seeing Ray Harryhausen doing Sinbad or whatever, and I was just saying, can you imagine being of that right age for this to see it? We saw it on IMAX in 3D. Oh,
2 words, Indominus Rex.
And that's all I'm going to say to you.
Yeah,
I might actually change my name indeed, Paul.
But who wrote this? It was Amanda Silver and Rick Jaffa. Now they were responsible for the Planet of the Apes reboot the last couple of years, so they're a pretty safe pair of hands.
Get back to the park.
Get back to the park. Yeah, well worth a visit, folks.
Awesome. How was that? Tony?
Hey?
Never mind. Welcome back to part 2, coming from Odeon Liverpool 1. And now, do you remember?
Now, it's interview time. Last week we caught up with Bev Clarke and Chris Lee Power. They're talking about their new film they're working on. Take a look at this. Okay, well, thanks for coming on the show, Chris. Thanks for coming on the show, Bev. First of all, tell us something about the project.
Okay, goodness me. Well, Breaking Free is it's a story of hope. It's a journey, and we go on a journey where we see a child witness with the family the murder of the father's friend.
Now, before we go on, this is autobiographical.
It's autobiography. It's based on my life story. I wrote it in 2009. And we wanted really to have a gritty film, but which was inspirational and encouraged young people to sort of come away from a certain lifestyle. So the film really takes us on an emotional ride. We see the aftermath of the murder. I'm diagnosed with hyperactivity, speech problems, lack of coordination, and put in the straitjackets. And then we see what happens to me as I go on that journey through education to teenage years. And in the film, we see this addiction to wanting attention, finding an identity for the protagonist, and then we see what happens after prison. So that's basically what it is in a nutshell. Do you want me to expand?
What's the dateline for this story? When
we pick up in 1974, because my family were entertainers, and then we go to 1979, and then the rest of the film covers the teenage years in the 1980s. So you know, the 1980s, very nostalgic for music. There was a lot of gangs, glue sniffing going on.
Yeah,
a lot of things were going on in the 80s, absolutely. Yeah. So we cover most of the 80s through the film.
And the location is for this story?
Yeah, we although my family are from Liverpool, they moved over to the Wirral in 1960, and then we based, well, it's based in 74, but based in Wirral, around Birkenhead, in that area. So.
Okay, so the book's written. How did you and Bev meet?
Well, I saw an advert in the newspaper. Bev was looking for local actors for Remembrance Day, based on your Tales of Your Grandad?
Yeah, well, great
oh, right,
actually.
Yes,
yeah, another family connection, really. No, I'd written a play while I was at Liverpool University doing a script writing course, and I'd written a play, and I wanted to produce it because I thought it was the only way to get on. So I auditioned some local actors, and we put it on in local festivals, and it was quite successful, wasn't it?
Strangely, I actually went to read for the father part, and I wasn't interested in any other parts. And I know you had a character called the Ghost George.
Yeah.
You said, "Oh, read for that." And I was saying, "No, I don't want to read for that." But I did, and she phoned me up and said, "Look, would you like to play the Ghost George?" I said, "Okay, that's fine," and that's nice. Just shows you that you can go for one part and then get offered another part.
And often it's a veiled, it's a meeting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, the part becomes irrelevant, really. It's that meeting of two people, isn't it?
So we took the play in quite a few places,
we did.
didn't we? We went all over the north with it, and then we ended up in Woking and Surrey. So we did quite well with the play. And then Chris went off to do other things, and I went off because I mainly direct on the stage, and theatre is my first medium really. And but we always kept in touch, and I knew he'd written the book, and I'd read the book, and I said there was a good story in there. I said, and we did talk about making it into a play at one time. We did go through that, but we felt because of all of the locations and because it has got the time scale of it, it would be better to be as a film. And because I'd done a lot of theatre, I didn't think I was the right person to begin with to really bring anything to the equation. But after a few years, and you've looked at different things.
Absolutely, I've chatted to lots of directors and some quite well-known directors, but I felt although they had film experience, I wanted a director I could work with that knew how to bring the best out of the actors. Because you know yourselves, a director sometimes has the knowledge of the film and the shots, but not really about getting the best. And Bev was the right person for that.
Also a local talent as well.
Absolutely, and that's what one of the premises of Breaking Free and working with CLP Productions was to invite local talent. The auditions were great, and we had a lot of well-known actors, named actors, come to the auditions. But in my mind, I was looking specifically for local talent, not just because of the accent, but because that's who I am, involving local people. It's a local project, it's a community-based project, and although it's a professional British film, I just wanted as many local people involved, including crew.
So is the cast locked now then? You have your cast?
Well, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, a lot is subject to availability, obviously, for when we're ready to go, and sort of the people that are professionals. But we do have some of the minor characters and the extras we're using local people for, and so that was the really idea, wasn't it? We've got local technicians and local production team, so that we were all available on a time. If you're bringing people in, the timescales are quite tight and difficult, so we just felt it was just easier to have a local base.
Okay. How about the writer who adapted it?
Nick Malloy.
I met Nick Malloy doing pantomime many years ago, playing King Arthur, and I knew he was a writer. And I said to him, "Look, would you adapt Breaking Free?" He said, "Well, I'm not too sure. I'll send you an example." And I saw his example. I said, "That's exactly what I want." And I needed a writer that could sit down with me every month and work together. Because I didn't just want it to be one person.
Okay.
So we liaised together for about 2 years. I would read what he did, then talk to my wife, get back to him, change a few things, so that I knew, because we wanted Breaking Free to be as close to the book as possible. I know you have to invent, because of poetic,
drama,
certain dialogue. It is really a powerful film about how a young person breaks free from a vicious circle of petty crime, prison, glue sniffing.
It's an aspirational
absolutely.
story.
And what you have to remember is here, based on my life, a hyperactive child that's put into a straitjacket, witnesses a murder, the aftermath of that, and then rebels and wants to find a way out. And so after prison, I thought to myself, and the character as well, what can I do? And because I've come from a family of entertainers, my mother was a country and western singer, my dad was a compere, and we'd travel around the pubs together. Even though I was involved in that kind of lifestyle, I said to myself, actually, I'd like to act. And the most extraordinary thing happened. I went to college, befriended a gentleman, and he was a gentleman, who became my tutor for many years. And we worked on the voice, we worked on drama, we worked on understanding society and life skills, because my life was a total wreck. And after the years, we'd built up this wonderful persona, if you like, a different person. And thank God, I got into drama school. And that's what we want to show, that no matter where you come from.
So sorry, I was just going to say, who exactly would obviously it's aimed at an audience, who was your target audience?
Chris made it very clear to me when I came in that he wanted to be able to reach families and young people. And so although there is a gritty story in there, and there's a lot of despair and
absolutely,
the thing that he wanted to be, he didn't want to make an X film just about drug taking and gangs. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to make a film that he could show to young people and families. And so we've got to take out of that the real family story and get the storytelling of this. And yes, that is the background and that is happening in them, but we're not going to indulge in that. It's not going to be particularly graphic, is it?
No,
we don't want
a gratuitous drama, but we have sort of brought out the aspects of family life, the relationship between him and the family, his girlfriend.
It is really about relationships.
His wife, the tutor, the gang. What you have to understand, the gang culture that we deal with was different than what we see today. We were more friends, and then we realised, well, hold on, there are other groups emerging in Birkenhead, so we need to defend our territory, and we want to show the loyalty of that. Okay. So, yeah, although it's a gritty film, it's an inspirational film that says, look, you can do that.
And is the script locked down now?
I don't think it's completely locked down. There's
no.
Still room for change. I mean, having come to the script and read it, there are things in it, and I've spoken to Nick, that I think that we may need to work on a little bit. Because some of the storytelling, I was reading it, having read the book, knowing the story, and saying, okay, does this tell me this bit of the story? And there were just little areas where I felt we need to go back and work on that. And that's one of the things that I want to be able to do with the actors. We want the time to be able to improvise and work on ideas, and I think because they're local actors, again, we can take that time to do that so that they really feel comfortable about and they know the story well, and that we're really getting that story over and it's clear.
Well, the teaser looks great, doesn't it? Great. Yeah. I mean, we wish you the best of luck.
Absolutely, and we're really looking forward to seeing the final product.
We'll keep you posted.
Please.
Bev, Christopher, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great meeting you.
So, that just about does it for this week's episode.
Get down here and see this amazing film, these amazing dinosaurs, and we'll see you next week on Arts Alive Film. Ta-da! Well, next week we're no, sorry, I've dried.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know. Should we go again?
Get yourself down to Odeon Liverpool 1.
You've just taken my bloody line. So you say that's it for this week, and I'll say, don't forget, get down here. He's stripping off!
I'm under pressure! I'm under pressure!
Right, go again.